I can see her lying back in her satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And we're going to call this a Dean's List Sessionable Wednesday. So this is the these are the three beers that I would say that I currently have on tap, but this one just, as you can tell from the level, just kicked. So this is Old School Double IPA. Look at that clarity. This thing came in at a I'm going to drink it last because it's got a bitter bite on it. Came in at 9.3%, and obviously it's gone now, so it didn't last very long, as it normally doesn't. This one is the Quad X Belgian. Look at that. Oh, look how pretty that is. The color on that thing. It's exactly how it looks, like this deep mahogany color. It is. This one I'm very happy with because when I first kegged it, I thought that it was a little too sweet, but it really came into its own. I think I talked about it a little last week. I kind of carved it up a little bit, and it just, it's really nice now. So, cheers. The aroma on this thing is like super dark fruit, fig, raisin now. That is very nice. Oh man, it's very nice. I used beet sugar, the beet sugar that comes in there, and I'm wondering if that's what kind of gave it that super kind of dark fruit flavor. The more that I think about it, I'm thinking that might have contributed to it. This one here, and that one's 12.2%. This one here is the Dean's Utterly Delicious Smoked Imperial Maple Bourbon Barrel Porter. It's a mouthful, but it's all in there. So I use Maris Otter, Utterly Delicious. I use maple in the end of the boil, and of course I got maple in that barrel. Didn't get as much as I did in the barley wine. Move these out of the way. But I also had smoked malt, so I should have said smoked. Yeah, so it's the Dean's Utterly Delicious, maybe I did, Smoked Imperial Maple Bourbon Barrel Porter, I guess is how you would describe it. And it, again, I thought it was like too oaked or too kind of harsh, and now it's kind of come into its own. And I use some Kentucky bourbon whiskey in there in the barrel, and yeah, it's about 9.3%. So these are my sessions. So anyway. Yeah, so now I got a freed up keg, I guess, with Old School. Old School, you never really get a whole lot going in the keg. Well, you do. I mean, you get about 4.5 gallons going in because the hops eat the rest. On that one, I never really get a full 5 gallons out of it. Because I don't like messing with the recipe. The recipe is good, and I don't want to change it. I think I might, I told you, I pumped it up, the bitterness. I went to like 120. I think I might go down to like 110 maybe, or 100 next time. I think 100 is probably the sweet spot. 120 was a bit, I still like it, but it was a bit much. So, I wanted to ask, has anybody used the hop Emerald Spire, S-P-I-R-E? So I got some brew ingredients. I was gonna pick them up and brew last weekend because I had all this time off with President's Day weekend, and but ice storm hit, unfortunately, when I was looking to go pick up my brewing supplies. I guess it was on Saturday, I think it was. So I wasn't able to make it. But I did go this week and picked up my brewing supplies, actually yesterday. And I'm doing an American Amber. What am I calling that one? Yeah, it's just an American Amber. I'll have to come up with a name for it. But for hops, I'm using this new hop, or at least it's new to me. I haven't seen it, called Emerald Spire, and it's big fruity. It says fruity pebbles and all kinds of different fruit, and so I thought that would be interesting for an American Amber. So Yeah, I'm trying to think what the grist was. I'm going to use Imperial's Independence because I kind of like that. I kind of like what that yeast does. I think that'll be a good yeast to use for an American Amber. And then I have, I think, Azaka, Magnum, Azaka, and this Emerald Spire. Those are the 3 hops. So I'll use Magnum for bittering. Going to get about 32 IBUs out of it, I think. It's kind of towards the top end of the bitterness, but I think that'll be good for American Amber. Got 2-row, got a couple of, like a half a pound of carapils I'm putting in there, and then some caramel 80 and a little bit of caramel 120. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. I might have something else in there, maybe. But yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. So that'll be the brew day. And what I'm gonna do, I talked to SJ last week. He's looking at, well, first of all, he put a link on the Homebrew Wednesday page that has this Foeder, I don't know how you pronounce it, Foeder. It's this really fancy 15-gallon kind of barrel that is really nice. It's tricked out. It's got all these stainless steel fittings and tri-clamps and stuff on it, so like sample ports and all kind of cool stuff. And I told my wife, I said I would like to get, for my birthday in July, I want, and it's never too soon to start planning for your birthday. Since my big 5-0 last year was, kind of ruined by COVID, we had plans of doing all kind of breweries and stuff, and I couldn't do it. But I want to either add to my barrel collection and get about 3 or 4 barrels, and then have like some kind of staggered rack that I can put up against one of these walls somewhere, and then I can have multiple, barrel aging, kind of a barrel age, collection going on that I could age as long as I want, or get this Foeder or whatever it's called, and it's a 15-gallon, I think, and then you can age, it would be one at a time, and I could have like a sample, like I could keep this barrel and kind of do stuff on the side, but the main thing I would use would be that Foeder, and once it was done with one batch, then you can leave the yeast cake in there, as long as you don't kill it with hops or anything, and then dump the next one in, and just keep, because it acts as a fermenter and a barrel ager, which is really, really cool. And I think it would look pretty badass down here in the man cave, in the bat cave, the Dean's List cave. I think it would be pretty cool. So anyway, so I'm thinking about that. So he posted that. So thank you, SJ, for putting that on there. But he also reached out to me and was asking about, I think he's considering, whether to build out his electric brewery or do a turnkey, or do something kind of halfway, kind of what I did. I didn't get a turnkey system. Well, I kind of did. I went to this site, and it's, if you're interested, shoot me a note. I'll send it to you. But it's a really cool place. What the heck? I'll plug them. It's called High Gravity. It's really nice. It's a small business, I think. I don't think it's not like some of the major ones you see at the NHC. Actually, they were at NHC when I went to, I think it was either Rhode Island or Portland. I think it was Portland. But they have this. You click on it. It says build your own system, and you can kind of mix and match parts, and then they'll figure out what all you need in terms of hosing and everything, and they put it all together and send it to me. And I upgraded from my original system. I had a couple of chugger pumps, and I upgraded those to the Blickman Riptides. But my boil kettle and mash tun are both Blickman. Like one's the boiler maker. 2, I think, is my bowl kettle, and the mash tun, I don't forget what the model number is. And then I got this Bayou Classic 15-gallon. So the boil kettle and the mash tun are 10 gallons, and then all Blickman. And then I've got a Bayou Classic 15-gallon stainless steel HLT, which is cool because the lid they built in a Herms coil, so it's got an input and output, and then the coil goes down. So you lift up the lid of the 15-gallon HLT, and it's got the Herms built in. And then so I have 2 pumps, and then the electrical control box they build, High Gravity does, and they call them EBC. There's like a series. I got EBC 3 or EBC 2. I forget which one I got. But mine is the variety that only has one power hock, so you can only energize one boil coil at a time. I have a boil coil in my boil kettle, and I have a boil coil in the HLT. I don't have one in the mash tun, but I don't need it because I use the Herm system to recirculate the mash and keep it at a certain temperature. You know, going through that coil in the hot liquor tank that I keep at a certain temperature. So I got my process down. I don't really need, you know, I thought about it, and I would have had to run another circuit breaker because I had to run like a 30 or 40 amp circuit breaker over to the wall. It's the same kind of plug that a dryer, you know, goes into. So I had to run that. I would have had to gotten a bigger circuit breaker, I think, if I wanted to do a 2-hock one. And I don't really need it, you know. It'd be kind of cool to have it, but my process works just fine. It's about a 5-6 hour brew day as it is, and I'm fine with it. So anyway, so that was mine. So it wasn't a turnkey, but it was one that was kind of pieced together, but it was done by this website. And the EBC is, I think the EBC, you know, what I really like about High Gravity is I had a problem with the EBC once, like one of the PIDs went, sent it back to them, like just recently, and they freaking sent it right back, free of charge. Everything was fixed, and I was like, man, I'm so happy. They're really good, and they turn around really fast. Those guys, you call them, they answer. There's a couple of dudes. I think they're in Oklahoma, but I'm, you know, very friendly. And when I saw them in NHC several years ago, I went up and thanked the guy, and shook his hand, and, you know, hey, can't do that now. But you know, thanked him for you know, the great service, and I'm a big fan. So anyway, I told SJ, I said, dude, you put so much work into that brewery you've been building, like literally from scratch yourself. I mean, if you haven't seen the cool like metal roof or metal ceiling he's got, and he's got the, you know, how he's getting the water to come in and how he's draining it out into his septic tank, and I mean, just really, really cool. I can't wait till, you know, all this protocol stuff is over and I can go up there and do a brew day with him. I am so looking forward to that. That will be so much fun. He's been down here for a brew day. I got to go up there for a brew day. Anyway, yeah. So I think that's it. Man, this is good beer. It's a Mike Dean session. You know, anything under 15% is just, you know, it's an easy day. This Imperial Porter is good. I was worried I put too much. I put a pound of freaking smoke malt, cherry wood smoke malt in it, and I think it was cherry wood. Pretty sure that's what I usually get, and freaking, you know, blended in nicely. This is really nice. My Heather got it and smelled it and was like, oh my god, this is the, and that's her jam. Her jam is big bourbon barrel aged beers, and this thing has kind of mellowed nicely. So Caps won last night, beat the Penguins. So happy about that, because we've been on a 4-game losing streak, so it was a good day. But anyway, I'll be brewing this weekend. I'll put that up for next Homebrew Wednesday, hopefully, and I guess I'll see you then. Have yourself a happy homebrew, and have a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.